Hold on a second for it to officially start.
Now do All right, we are exiting from executive session at 6:19. Can I have a motion to return from executive session?
So moved.
Got a first, may I have a second? Second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So we are out of executive session, having discussed a expulsion matter. A vote was taken in executive session following the superintendent's recommendation. Moving on to personnel, Dr. Miller.
Yes, we'd like to congratulate our professionals for the upgrade degree status. Samantha Gentle from an AB 15 to a master's. Deborah Haley from a master's plus 30 to a master's plus 45. Jacqueline Kedash from a master's plus 30 to a master's plus 45. Lindsay Perry, a master's to a master's plus 15. And Mason Werner, a master's to a master's plus 15. Also like to welcome Jennifer Sykes, being recommended for a position as a 261-day custodian handyman in Park High School, and all other personnel is presented.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. Any questions on Dr. Miller's recommendations? May I have a motion to accept the recommendations as personnel recommendations as presented? I got a first and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, moving on to item 6 on the agenda, which are reports and follow-up actions. Anything on school safety, Mr. Jones?
Yes, 3 quick items. One, we just conducted 2 interviews, one Friday, one this morning, for new school security officers. So if they both get all their paperwork, background checks, all that good stuff, and accept the positions, we would have a full-time person in every building, with the exception of Bethlehem and West Liberty will be sharing. And then if one more hired, we would have one in every building. I'm not sure if either or both of them will accept. I believe they will, but we will see. So that should happen in the next 2 weeks. Next, we have the metal detectors will be here next week, and they will train us in a classroom setting, I believe on Thursday. And then we'll go like live with them in the morning at Park on Friday with all the kids coming in to use them at the beginning of school. So that should go, and like we've talked about before, we can move those around so we can use them at athletic events, take them to other schools when necessary. So we're excited to get those up and running. And then lastly, Nicole and I made this school safety checklist, and we're gonna, in the next 2 weeks, we're gonna go to every school and sit with the SROs and the principals and probably interview a couple students and staff just to make sure they're aware of certain things. And this will make it really nice because we can go down through this with everybody and make sure we're all on the same page and have everything in place that is necessary. So this is on front and back. Here's this checklist that will be taken around with us, and we'll start that tomorrow morning.
Who at each school will you meet with to go over?
So we'll meet with the principals and the school resource officers.
Okay.
And then a couple of things like the Stop It app, for example, we'll interview a couple students and just see if they know what that is. Is it talked about a lot? Do you know where to go if there's an issue that you want to report? We'll ask them things like, what do you do if somebody wants to come in the door behind you? Do you let them in, or do you make sure that they buzz in? Just different things like that, just to keep safety just as a top priority and on everyone's mind. So we'll conduct those and report back how those go. We're never going to be doing all of these things, but hopefully when we talk, we will be able to identify some areas that we need to improve in different schools.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Jones?
No, thanks.
Any questions for Mr. Jones on the school safety issues? All right, moving on. Bid, forklift.
On January 28th, 2025 at 11 a.m., we had a bid opening for a forklift, or fork truck. Myself and Mr. Crum were in attendance. The winning bidder was Mid-Atlantic Waste Systems for $34,000, and your approval is needed.
It is. What
this will be used down at the operations center, to help bring, we get loads all the time that require us to take them off of trucks and bring them to the building. Our deliveries of paper, different motors and stuff that we use on the transportation side of things. It's used quite often. The one we have is, was it 78? It's old, and we've fixed it about all we can fix it, and it's lumping along, so hopefully this one will last us as long as the other one did.
What is it, a diesel engine that powers this thing, or what is?
It has, the engine and the, air for the lifts.
Okay. All right, Dr. Miller, do you recommend that we accept the Mid-Atlantic Waste Systems bid for the fourth truck for $34,000?
Yes.
All right, I have a motion to accept the recommendation of Dr. Miller to accept the Mid-Atlantic Waste Systems $34,000 bid for a fork truck or forklift for purposes of the operations center.
So moved.
I've got a first, may I have a second?
Second.
I have a first and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion passes unanimously. The next is 6.3 bid for the Winning Park High School roof renovations.
On January 22nd, 2024, we had a bid opening for replacement, partial replacement of the Winning Park High School roof. Myself, Mr. Crum, and Mr. Jeffers was not in attendance. And a representative from McKinley was in attendance. The winning bidder in the amount of $1,990,000 from the company's name is AAR of North Carolina. That is the winning bidder of this amount. $1 million will be from the school building authority, and the rest will be from the permanent improvement fund. Motion is needed.
It is, a question though, with respect to their numbers, pretty significantly under, especially the locals. What's our comfort level that this organization, AAR North Carolina, is a responsible bidder?
So, McKinley was tasked with finding that out, and, they've done their due diligence. They're actually working with other West Virginia, entities. So, they've gone through the bid with AAR, they feel as though this is a responsible bid.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Bennett on this bid?
Is that the only bid?
No, there was a bid from Calproof, from Redwood Construction, from Murray Sheet Metal, from Sutter Roofing, from Mansueto Roofing, from Blackstone Roofing, from AAR North Carolina, from Ramp Construction, from RAME, R-A-M-E, Geis Associates, and it's like Mecklenburg Roofing. Of those, there only appears to be 5 of them that checked all the boxes of what needed to be done, which included Calproof, Mansueto, Blackstone Roofing, AAR, North Carolina, and Ramp Construction. Dr. Miller, do you recommend accepting the recommendation from McKinley?
Yes, sir.
To take the AAR of North Carolina at $1,990,000?
Yes.
And Steve, what was the breakdown of the numbers? 1 million is from the SBA?
Correct, and then we will put in the balance, through the permanent improvement fund.
Okay, so $900,000 approximately.
$990,000.
$990,000.
All right,
Okay, yeah, so it looked like a difference of like around 200,000 between some of the closer local bids and this bid.
all right, can I have a motion to accept Dr. Miller's recommendation, to take the recommendation of McKinley Architecture and Engineering to accept the bid of AAR of North Carolina in the amount of $1,990,000 to perform the roof renovations at Wheeling Park High School. Not all at once.
So,
All right, I got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I got a first and a second, any further discussion?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to say, I'd like to keep it local if we could, but $234,000 is a big number.
Well, that's why I asked the question about responsible, that gives me a little heartburn that folks coming out of North Carolina. But we've gotta rely on our professionals saying they did their due diligence, we
Can't
can't
go
look
back
behind
on
that
that much
curtain.
And we're required to go with the lowest responsible.
The lowest
Qualified
qualified responsible bidder, and they're saying they're both qualified and responsible.
And we're using, school building authority grant dollars as well, so,
Yeah, so,
Is there an additional requirement placed on us because of that?
I think that there are, responsibilities that this week, additional checks and balances when the SBA is involved.
If the school building authority was not going to approve this vendor, we couldn't even bring it to you today.
so the SBA's already given a check mark.
It's been run through the SBA.
So on that, Bernie, I agree with you. Anytime we can hire somebody that pays property taxes in our county to do work in our county, we need to do that, or at least try really hard, but the criteria is lowest qualified responsible bidder. And our pros are telling us that it is a qualified and responsible bidder, so our hands are tied on that.
Yep.
Any other discussion? I have a first and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion unanimously passes. 6.4, finally getting some money back in.
Right.
Selling some of Ohio County's finest. 6.4 bid, what are we doing, Steve?
Sure, on February fifth, 2025, we had a bid opening for, the sale of 3 of our used buses. Myself and Mr. Crum were in attendance. The highest bidder in this case is the winner, UNC Sales bid of $3,900.51 for, 1 bus, and then 422 Sales in the amount of $3,100 for 2 buses is, they were the high bidders for a total of $7,000.51. A motion is needed.
Thank you, Steve. Any questions for Steve on this process? Dr. Miller, is it your recommendation that we accept those 2 offers from NC Sales and 422 Sales?
Yes, and I think it's important that people understand that these buses have exceeded the, miles. That's what puts us in this place, or the number of years that we've had these buses. So it's a rotation type piece that we try to continue over the years whenever we do sell these vehicles.
Thank you for that explanation, Dr. Miller. So you just mentioned that it is your recommendation we
Yes.
accept these 2 bids. May I have a motion to accept Dr. Miller's recommendation to sell 1 bus to Yancey Sales in the amount of $3,900.51, and a second bus to 422 Sales for $3,100, for a total of $7,000.51.
So moved.
I have a first, may I have a second?
Second.
A first and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes, it is unanimous. Item 7 on the agenda is the consent agenda. We will pull off the paid bills. Would anybody like anything else pulled off of this?
Yeah, 7.2.
Okay, 7.2, which is the homecoming parade and pep rally. Anything else? Molly, you wanna kick us off with the 7.2?
Sure, I just noticed that they're doing it again up at the high school, and I was wondering why we're not moving it back downtown now that the road is finished.
Well, I think, and Mr. Jones, correct me, I think that it's a controlled space that people can park and be in one area right around the school. I think that had a lot to do with it, and I think they wanted to add on, and with the stage area, and make that a little more special for the kids. See?
yeah, I don't really know. Tell you the truth.
Okay, I mean, just personal experience, having had kids go through high school for the course of many years now. I feel like it's a totally different feel when it's downtown. I mean, we have 1 high school in our community, like why wouldn't we do it in a community, a central community place like downtown? better, it's just has such a better feel, the band's going up and down the street instead of just circling the school twice, you're like, there they go once, there they go again. But to like have the band go downtown and people from businesses coming out and watching and being part of it, I don't know, it's just my opinion, I know this
Well,
isn't,
you won't have the community participate.
No,
You're
people
just
aren't gonna
have-
drive up there, it's hard to park, really hard to park, actually, if you're coming up to watch.
Well, but if you're downtown, you might watch it come through,
Yeah.
just as a matter of the community.
A lot more places to park.
Unlikely
much
you're gonna
easier.
drive up to Wheeling Park.
Right.
And if that's where it is this year, maybe next year when Market Street is done, we could revisit that.
Absolutely, that would be my recommendation, or, I mean, it's not till fall, so maybe
Oh.
Market Street will be, it's only
Well,
February,
yeah.
yeah, so.
Yeah, you're right, that,
It's a big difference, and I hear it from a lot of community members as well, reached out to me, especially this year, because it was at the high school again, for the maybe third year.
I'm gonna put it on the agenda for next meeting and
Okay.
just have more of a discussion, and maybe whoever came to that conclusion could explain it. I mean, you
Yeah.
did a nice job explaining it. They gave you an additional explanation.
Yeah.
We aren't thinking.
They did a great job rallying, and downtown was just a total disaster, and you couldn't possibly have a parade there, but I would like to have the conversation.
All right, we put off paid bills. Bernie, do you have anything you wanted to ask?
I just had one, check number 222644 for Achieve Behavioral Health for $25,500. I assume that's behavioral health services.
Jason Fromm, Apple Business.
Okay, that's cool, very nice. That's the only one I had, thank you.
Okay, and I'll jump in here. I'm curious on a check 222655, is why we did so many months for the city of Wheeling for the resource officers.
It's just when they billed us, we had not
So
received
that-
an invoice, and then there was we had some back and forth discussions about what all we were getting with the invoice, so this was just,
I think we need to talk to Mr. Aaron, you know, we
It's
need more
okay.
consistent billing here.
it's okay, we work very well with the CU.
Okay, so I should just be quiet.
No. We're happy to have this.
I agree. We appreciate the partnership we have with the city and the county and everyone else. Check 1113 Frontier West Virginia Inc. for internet access charges 2 months. Where is that? For $24,666.
That's across the county.
The entire county?
Yes, correct.
So it's roughly $12,300 per month.
Correct.
How are we gonna do better with Sterling?
It's a bid process,
Okay.
and actually, it's that one that's getting ready to come up.
Yeah, it's coming up and we get 80% back through federal E-rate dollars.
Oh, okay. Check 222676, it's the High County Board of Education, it's SBA. What, was that just a reimbursement getting back in?
Yes, that we have to put in.
Did you get everything that you wanted?
Oh, yes.
Congratulations and thank you. Oh, and this kind of comes to you, Mr. Jones. This is check 222712, 10-42 Tactical LLC, $2,947.71 for uniforms and equipment for safety officers. What all does that entail?
It entails like a bulletproof vest, all their gear that they need.
No guns?
Uniform, no, they provide their own gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but it would be the Kevlar flashlight.
And then they give them clothes to wear that look like a police officer,
Oh.
it's for the retired people. And then
How many uniforms did $3,000 buy?
there's a whole breakdown of all the things that it is.
Yeah.
I just don't have it in front of me.
Okay. we can get
They're
back.
Gucci.
I was gonna say-
They're Lululemon,
Uh,
officer clothes.
Official Louboutins, and they got red bottoms on the boots. Shamed I know that.
I just have all sort of grades.
We'll send it to, because Ann has them, because she, we always put that on there, under the same exact thing.
Okay.
But once you look at it, there's a pretty long list of things.
Okay.
We'll send it to you.
We purchase everything other than a firearm, but
Okay.
obviously we can't purchase that, so.
All right, thank you, guys. I have no other questions, Molly?
Yeah, I have a couple of pay bills. Check 1125, US National Bank Association, $3,245. Says FADOUL grant. Just wondering what is that? FADOUL?
Susan Fedor. She lost money.
So a person who left money, this is how we're using it? Okay. Thank you. Check 222677, this is, says Lamar, 2,400 for the robotics billboards. Is that just, was that just to advertise the Gateway to the West, so the
Correct.
public would come out and check it out?
Correct.
Okay.
Can I interrupt you for one
Yeah,
moment?
go ahead.
On the, are we tracking any of the metrics on public that are showing up for the Gateway to the West? Just to see how many people attended this year versus last year?
Public,
Well, people
that
that are
question?
going, and we did advertise them.
right?
And I guess what I'm looking for is an ROI on that to say, did it make sense to advertise, did people show up?
Yeah.
People show, I mean, we have full bleachers, we have people in the top, people in the bottom. I don't think we took account because, we did not charge admission for those people to come in.
Okay.
You're not allowed to charge admission for a VEX event.
We
But
could-
yeah, we
We
probably.
could ask for a donation.
We could.
Look at Ogilvy Lights.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
They're
It would be
quite-
nice to see who's there that's
boards.
not parents, you know?
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
just
I'd
there
just
for
be
the
curious,
commission.
just as it relates to
Yeah,
advertising
permission.
dollars, because in light of the growing competition
Mhm.
for students,
Yes.
is it better to deploy those
Yes.
advertising dollars to try to recruit students versus, you know, the Gateway to the West if there's not an ROI? So,
I know that, Karen, Mrs. Butine is tracking that kind of information for our, fall enrollment and what that looks like, so,
okay. I just think with limited resources, the more that we can get out of those dollars, the better. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah. Then check, let's see, 222695, it says City of Wheeling Prevention Resource Officer Program.
So that dovetails on Mr. Cross' question. They had not billed us for June, so that's June's. They pay in 12 months the same way we pay teachers in 12 months. They had not invoiced us yet for June, so.
So the
that's-
program though, is that different from the previous,
No, it's not different. It's just described.
It's just how it's described.
Description, yeah.
so that's just,
It's the same program.
that's June, it's the same thing, it's just,
June, and then the rest of
So-
them were July through December.
okay, or August, yeah, from July through September, so that one's just June, okay, thank you, I didn't know if that was
Yeah.
something separate.
No, it's the same thing.
Okay, and then the last one, check 222771, 80 specialties, $14,000, partial payment, WPHS special light system, entry system maybe?
Those are the double doors that lead to the back entrance, where the pool is, you know, the hallway that's between the pool and the locker rooms.
Okay,
That was to get those replaced.
oh wow,
That's the majority of it.
yeah, so partial payment, so there's just the retainage or?
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
Man, doors are expensive these days.
They are.
$14,000. Wow, okay, thank you, those are my only questions.
Okay, thank you. So, may I have a motion to accept the consent agenda, items 7.1 through items 7.5 as presented? I have a first, may I have a second?
Second?
I got a first and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Do we have any delegations tonight?
No, sir.
Board member comments, Molly?
I don't have anything, thank you.
All right, Ann?
I don't think I have anything either, except like I say, I do feel that our students, it's all about the kids. Rudy Mumley's saying will go on forever. It's all about the kids, and I think our kids are great, so thank you.
All right, Bernie?
I have nothing, thank you.
The only thing I have is, please note that we have all received an email from the president of the Wheeling Park FFA to get on our agenda for February 24th. Let's just make sure we get the Wheeling Park FFA on our agenda for the CTE program. I have nothing else. Future meetings are Monday, February 24th, 2025. It's a regular meeting at 6 p.m. here at the board office. The next meeting will be March 10th, 2025, which is a regular meeting at 6 p.m. here at the board office. And then Monday, March 24th, 2025 is a regular meeting at 6 p.m. at the board office. There being no further business before the board, we are adjourned.